The value of foreign states' dollar reserves is sliding through the White House decision to print its way out the crisis. This week, the governor of China's central bank followed the Russian president's call to replace dollars with IMF special drawing rights as the main international reserve currency. The Russian central bank's already looking into the details.
We've started discussions on a new financial architecture and currency system. There's promise in IMF currency instruments.
Meanwhile, Russia's pushing international reserve and trading currency status for the ruble. In the former Soviet Union, it's already made it.
90% of exports to Belarus are already paid in Russian rubles. A host of neighboring countries now use it to pay us.
To stop stockpiles of increasingly vulnerable paper may sound like good sense, but experts say it will actually come back to haunt the world.
The largest consumer market in the world is the United States. And the recovery of the world economy very much depends on how actually would feel the US market. There is no actual support for US dollar as a reserve currency. This is a kind of objective thing. But in case we would try to artificially undermine this situation, implementing new currency, it could worsen the whole situation for all markets.
Washington's mounted a defence at the top level. On Tuesday, the moves to ditch the dollar were slammed by the Treasury Secretary, the Chairman of the Federal Reserve and President Obama. Beijing now says its comments were misunderstood. Daniel Bushell, Business RT.
The Wall Street crash happened in 1929. It took 15 years for the world to come together to rebuild and renew our economies. This time, I think people will agree that it is different. We will not hesitate, as long as people are losing their jobs and their homes, to make the difference that we can by improving their prosperity. Today's decisions, of course, will not immediately solve the crisis, but we have begun the process by which it will be solved. A few years ago, meetings such as this could not have happened with so many different countries from diverse continents involved. Far less could there have been an agreement amongst them. But today, the largest countries of the world have agreed a global plan for recovery and reform. This involves the biggest interest rate cuts in history, the biggest fiscal stimulus we have ever seen, the biggest increase in resources in the history of our international institutions, with 250 billion, more money than ever before, for trade finance as well. For the first time, we have a common approach round the world to cleaning up banks' balance sheets and restoring lending. We are engaging in a deep process of reform and restructuring of our international financial system for now and for the future, and we have maintained our commitment to help the world's poorest, and we have put more money aside for that and also for a green recovery. These are not just a single collection of actions. This is collective action, people working together at their best. I think a new world order is emerging, and with it the foundations of a new and progressive era of international cooperation. We have resolved that from today we will together manage the process of globalization to secure responsibility from all and fairness to all. And we've agreed that in doing so, we will build a more sustainable and more open and a fairer global society.
North Korea broke the rules once again by testing a rocket that could be used for long-range missiles. This provocation underscores the need for action, not just this afternoon at the UN Security Council, but in our determination to prevent the spread of these weapons. Rules must be binding. Violations must be punished. Words must mean something. The world must stand together to prevent the spread of these weapons. Now's the time for a strong international response. Now is the time for a strong international response, and North Korea must know that the path to security and respect will never come through threats and illegal weapons. All nations must come together to build a stronger global regime. And that's why we must stand shoulder to shoulder to pressure the North Koreans to change course.